theme. Thanks, Nico. Or Anna. Um, so I should say next September, it's this September 25th and 26th. We do have our conference. Our maker activities are finalized. Anna, do you want to talk about the maker activities?
Yeah, so I know we're having the Switch interface, which I know on the
Oh,
registration,
I went ahead, so I'm going to jump up.
yeah, the microbit switch. So they should be available now. In case you're registered already for our conference, there's a way to uh, log on and basically pay if you did want to create one at the conference because they're 25 each. And that's just learning, there's going to be a demonstration there and then you get to take it home. You can do it at home or you can just do it, as you learn how to do it. And that's what we're offering for that one. And that's going to be with the CNS lab on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to be doing the adapted toy, which is the doodling robot. And then that's going to be with ADAPT and HISD, which this one's also $25. So they're the same cost. They're just, different things depending on what you'd want to like do or take home and stuff like that. So
So the robot you'll actually put together, it's actually a child's kit. But what it does is it creates this doodling robot. And as a speech path, you can use it because you can give a child choices on what colors they want. And then how you angle the pins depends on how big or small the circles are and how it draws when they push the switch. So it actually, we're going to provide some communication sheets to help people take them home and actually walk out of the conference with tools that you can use. And then the microbit switch, you'll actually put it together. The CNS Lab 3D printed all of the switch cases, and we're using the microbits that you'll put together, and it actually will be a functioning switch interface for your iPad or tablet or computer. So it's a functioning uh, switch that you can take home and use if you attend the conference. So those are two exciting things that we have. And I'm going to back up because I went way ahead and threw Anna under the bus. Um, Nico, you want to talk about the mission and have the new members introduce themselves?
Yeah, totally. So yes, this is Tamales. It's our network of Texas makers to actively include and support individuals with disabilities across Texas, particularly those with unique needs, so that we can foster collaboration, dialogues to design innovative solutions and fabrication for folks to promote independence.
And you want
So
to put that in layman's terms now?
we're just creating tools, creating AT for folks that have unique needs or that have individualized needs, and just making their lives a little bit easier for
So
an
it's really
affordable
bringing
cost.
makers and people with disabilities together to the table
Yeah,
so that the makers are actually communicating with the individuals with disabilities so that we have better individualized tools. And so we do want to create a network of makers. So when we get requests through TTAP, because we're a very small team, we can get volunteers to help. We can get volunteers to help with some of the production of the tools that will help people with disabilities. So we'll start with
yeah. For new members, what part of Texas are you from? If you are from Texas, we've had folks from Spain even show up. So we've gone international at this point. There's no Now we have to get to the moon. How'd you hear about us? What is your favorite maker tool? And then what is a maker goal that you have for this year for yourself within the group, yourself personally? It could be anything. So don't be shy. Take it away, anyone.
we'll start with Sharon.
Okay, my name is Sharon, and I am just newly retired SLP of 30 years for Hill County Shared Services Arrangement, which we're located in. Our offices are located in Hillsboro. But I've recently come in and helping part-time in the assistive technology department. So it's something I really enjoy. It's something very new to me too, as well. But my biggest goal is just to get immersed into everything that's available as far as technology and adaptive equipment. I'm really excited about learning how to do adaptive switches. We have a lot of toys and equipment on here located that we really need to make some adapted switches for. We have the switches, we have the tools to do it, but we just need to learn how to do it. We also have a 3D printer. None of us, well, there's two of us right now, and so we're hoping to master that as well, get it up and running.
And what kind of 3D printer do you have? Do you know?
I am not for sure exactly. I will have to, yeah, I'm not sure.
As you're on that journey, reach out because we've got some people that can help you with that also.
Okay. Yeah, we've got several pieces here that we've just never been able to get up and running, just because there's only been like one person in our assistive technology department, but she was also our coordinator with OT too. So I kind of stepped in that role to help. So now there's two of us. So our goal is to get the adaptive equipment up and running, the 3D printer up and running. We also have a wood making tool to make puzzles and adaptive, activities with that. So,
Do you have in your district a CNS program?
um,
That would be your or not CNS, sorry, CTE, which is career technology, and it's your
yes, we have one. Our shared service arrangement is made of a lot of disciplines, and yes, we do have one that's kind of over all the districts. So she kind of helps. I don't know how much we can pull from that, but yeah, I can.
I've got some resources and
Okay.
some articles, and that's one of the things that we're really trying to do is reach out and getting more cooperation between our AT programs and our CTE programs.
Mhm.
So let's set up a meeting outside of this where you and I can talk and I can give you some ideas because that's one of our goals is really starting to utilize these students. And Dr. Lee is here from HISD, and he is the coordinator of their CTE program and their engineering program. And that's exactly what his high school students are doing is creating things. And we're trying to get more interaction between special ed and the CTE programs.
So that'd be great because I mean, really, we have multiple districts, but like in our shared services arrangement, we do have one person who kind of represents that and usually speaks with a lot of the CTE teachers, and that's our transition specialist. So I don't know if, as far as us having one located in our main department, no, but we have them located out on our districts. So
Yeah, and it might be
Can you help
reaching
me?
out to each of the individual district CTE programs and seeing
Mhm.
which ones are going to be willing to work with you.
Okay.
Because you
That'd be
only
great.
need to start with one, and there's your pilot for the rest.
Yep, that's true.
All right. Let's turn it over to Ray. Ray, can you introduce yourself and let us know how you heard about us?
I think I got unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're perfect.
Very good. I just found you on a web search looking for a bit of assistance in way of doing some creations and some projects. I'm basically a MS quadriplegic that's got ideas.
We love ideas. We love ideas. Are you coming to our conference?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm
What
pretty
part
much
of
in,
Texas? What
I'm in
part of Texas?
I'm in far West Texas out here. Right now I'm in Andrews, Texas.
West Texas. Okay. Well, in the future, we'd like to get you out there because I think you would have fun.
Where is it?
It's held always in Austin. This is our third annual conference. It's meant for our service providers, but it's also meant to bring in some individuals with disabilities. And then we do have the maker spaces, so we're trying to build those relationships.
That's what really initially got my interest because I've got a couple of little items that I think just scream 3D printing and hoping maybe to get some help on that and tapped into it. Looking at it, I felt like I was kind of the handicapped side that was looking for some help from this group of makers you're creating. So I'd love to
You're
be
the
part of
perfect
it.
person to be in this group. We're glad to have you.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Thank you.
And then maybe when it's time to share later on, you can share some of your ideas because then we've got some great minds that can take the ball and run with it.
It's as going through and dealing with this, and we're trying to work around this disability. It's been just ridiculous to me how many items and simple things that I just assumed would be available, and I've been had my heart broke more than once. That's just, I don't know. I guess it's just something that's not available, but it's been a surprise to me. Small
Well, and
things,
see, those are the things that if you need it, you know somebody else does too, especially if it's a surprise. And it's like Dr. Lee's group, they don't know what to make until they actually talk to you to see what you need made. And that's how we work collaboratively. So it's really kind of cool. Dr. Lee's gonna, he has actually helped his group help make an inhaler, uh, adaptive inhaler for someone who had limited mobility so she could use her own inhaler. So those are the kind of things that that we can do once we know what the needs are. So it's really that's what we want to do is partner those CTE, those makers with the you who needs these fun little gadgets, and then they have fun making them. So it's a win-win for everyone.
I'd love to participate.
Perfect. Are there any other new Tamiko's here? She's from Dallas. Who else? Vanderlyn is Region 4. Brian's here. So, Chelsea, are you new? Hi, Tamiko. How is your year going?
Ooh, it's going.
That's why I said swamped in September. It's just hit you like a big fan, but then once you get into the groove, it's all cool. So,
So yes. So I didn't know if you wanted, did you need me to introduce myself
yeah, go
and
ahead because
okay.
you're kind of new to the group. So yes, we'll let Tamiko talk to everyone.
Well, actually, I joined in the summer. I'm normally with Tamara here
Yeah.
at Dallas ISD. We're kind of my group is kind of in a unique situation. We are the teachers, the SPED teachers that work with students with disabilities, and we also have the best world of being at a CTE campus. And we have people that can help us with the assistive technology that we actually need. So we have the both of kind of best of both worlds. And we've pulled in a few of our CTE teachers that can use the 3D printers and make assistive technologies. I want to say, Ms. Page, you have connected us with some teachers here that handles the assistive technology within Dallas ISD, and we've all kind of collabed a little bit. So, like I said, the best of both worlds.
And you're going to be presenting when in the summer?
I'm sorry.
You and Tamara
Tamara,
when are you?
yes, we are also with the oh my God, we got so many groups. We're at UT Austin with the computer science and
Mhm.
with the CTE department with them.
Now, is that who you're presenting for next summer?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're excited
Well,
for that.
We teach. There it is. It's coming to fruition. Is we teach. So it's what we teach, and it's also with the University of Texas at Austin.
Now, I don't think you were able to come to our conference for ours in 2 weeks. Were you able to sign up at all? Anyone from Dallas?
I'm not for sure. From my end, I'm not able to attend, but I will get with Miss Green and Mr. Schroeder to see if one of them was able to actually sign up for it.
All right. And then if you can't sign up, I'd like to connect you with Patrick Benfield here at our CNS lab. So we'll do that introduction later.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. And then Chelsea, how are you?
I'm good. I guess, new-ish. I've definitely come to the conference in the past in a different capacity. I currently work for Baylor University in the speech and language communication department, and I teach the augmented and alternative communication class.
Yay.
Yeah, so I've only been here for a year, but in the last 2 semesters, we've used Baylor's Makerspace. I guess the first time the SLP department has used it, and they have an amazing makerspace. So I was kind of piddling around and thought, oh, I'm going to jump in on those meetings and see what's going
Have you
on.
touched base with Kyle Ann then?
No, no.
Well, she's presenting for us and she's at Baylor. So
Oh, I'll touch
we
base with
need
her.
to
Yeah.
connect you. She's usually here at this meeting,
Okay.
but we need to connect you with Kyle Ann.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And when
Shannon,
you're
I
at the
thought
conference,
I thought Kylan was at Texas Women's College.
oh, never mind. She's at Texas Women's.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I got the universities. You're both up north.
Yeah.
You're both up north. Anyways, we'll still want to with her because she runs the Makerspace, the OT program up at Texas Women's University.
Awesome.
So welcome aboard. And Baylor's good too. So
Okay. Thank you.
I didn't have to pay for any kids to go to Baylor. I've paid for many other universities
Yeah.
here. So you haven't taken any of my money. I like you.
I gave most of my money as a student to UT, so I
So welcome. Come on back.
yeah.
All right, Vanderlyn, this is your first time here at our meeting.
Yeah, usually I'm in the background when Sarah and Jade are in the meeting. I'm passing through, but I've never actually attended the meeting.
Well, Ben Davison usually attends, and he'll be coming late. He's at a TEA meeting, and he's the new VI rep for Fort Worth for
Oh,
Region
okay.
12. So, anyways, he's going to be presenting on the Monarch at our conference. So we're really glad to have him.
Nice.
So go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about what you do.
Okay, so I'm the Region 4 Regional Coordinator for Visual Impairment, Deafblind, and so many things have been overlapping with VI recently that Sarah and Jade told me I need to start attending. I mean, I didn't know I could, so I was glad that I could. So they added me to the list where I could sign up.
Yay.
And so that's how I heard about you through Region 4. And my maker goal, just finding out everything that's possible. And my favorite maker tool is people who know what's possible, sharing their information with me.
And last month we had the University of Washington attend, and they were sharing some of the Braille things they were 3D printing. So we'll have to send some of those files down to you.
Jade already sent them. That's another reason why I signed up for this time.
Okay, perfect.
During the
Perfect.
meeting, I had a session during the meeting. She just kept sending me things as they were happening.
Oh, very good.
It was good information.
Well, we grow together. We're all in this together. And then I see very nice. All right, we'll move forward. So Anna already talked about the maker plans for the Capitol Room. So on Thursday, we'll have the CNS lab making the microbit switches, and anyone can sign up for those. We've got about 30 kits that we started with available, and when they're gone, they're gone. And then on Friday, we're making the little robot, and he's kind of fun. It's a nice cause effect toy that'll give opportunities for young children learning how to use switches, opportunities to not only communicate but have fun. All right. New resources. We always like to kind of share resources when we're here. So we have the Padlet that we always share, and I'm going to put the link for everyone in here. And this Padlet is always a work in progress. So as we move forward, we never take away. Here we go. So the TTAP, so if you open that, you can see that some of our people, there's Adina, some of our people, there's Will is here today, have shared their contact information. We've got to catch up, but we try to put some of the old PowerPoints on here, and I do have to catch up, and I will do that. And then we've got just kind of what some of the fabrication tools that are out there. Different maker organizations, which gives you an idea of what other people are making within their team. So it's always a good idea to look at the things that are already out there so that you're not reinventing the wheel. These are specific maker groups in Texas. This is our own CNS lab, if you want to learn about them. And then ADAPT is a national group, but we have a specific branch here at the University of Texas. And so I put them up here at the top. But that is a national organization, and then we have a UT branch of ADAPT, and they're going to be helping us at our conference. We've had some help with our own CNS, Patrick Benfield from our CNS lab. And so these are just some tools that are recommended as must-haves. This list from Therese Wilcombe is really good. And then these are examples. So there's some various examples on here of things that people are making, and some research articles here. Here's some specific files that you can use. And then general adaptive equipment, adaptive sports, adaptive gaming, and then it goes on down. So we'd like to keep building on this. Proximity switch, these are some of the microbits that we're going to be using. And I've got a new thing. It's a skin technology, which I'm going to share with you a little bit on one of the slides. So I just want you to be aware that this is here, and I've got a couple more articles that I'm going to add to it today. So, but before we put it on there, we like to kind of talk about it in the group so that you can kind of get some aha moments and ideas before you actually go there to find it. So this gameplay is something that used to be housed at the University of North Carolina, the Tar Heel site. And what it is the University of North Carolina no longer has the funding to house it, but it's a way to, if you're trying to teach someone to use switch access on a computer, it's a free resource because you can create your own games. And since University of North Carolina dissolved it, a company called Control Bionics, which is an eye gaze and neural network company, they took it over so that we wouldn't lose it. And it's a way for you to create individualized activities that you can use on the computer with switches. So if you come to the conference and you make the switch interface, you can then bring that switch interface back and teach a student how to use it using YouTube videos or something that they actually like. And these are just some examples. So you can search gameplay and then you can create your own. So you can either create your own or you can search on some that have already been made. So it's not really maker technology, but it's a good thing to know about if you're trying to use new technology, because it's an easy way to use switches with technology. The next, I think, is a really neat story. It's more of a storyline. And I'm going to, can you hear that?
No, you can't.
Okay. Let me stop share and then start share. So what it is it's a family, it's a brother and his younger brother, and his brother has a degenerative condition. And so you can go through the long history, but what I like about it is he goes through and he talks about the technology to get his brother access not only to the computer, but to gaming, which is what his brother enjoys. And so you kind of, if you look historically at the family, initially the brother did not live with his older brother. And during the pandemic, they saw a health decline because he didn't have any of that interaction. And then they were able to bring him back and give him access to the computer and the gaming. And I think they fitted him with they had him a GPEG surgically implanted so that they can now feed him so that he's got better nutrition. And then you see him kind of coming back in his interaction. So it's really, I chose this more because it shows you the power of how working together, they've really had to individualize things for his brother, but in doing so, they've really given him access to the world through his gaming. So it's just something we're not going to watch today, but I want you to kind of have an idea that it's there. I think it's good because you really see how detailed the individualization has to be to give his brother the access to the things that they want him to have access to. So let me reshare with sound. Like I said, we're not going to watch the whole video. Oops. Now I'm sharing. Let's see. Now I'm sharing me. I want to reshare. Hold on. Sorry about that. There we go. Now I'm sharing the right screen. So they've got a whole web page on the Narby House. But the parts that I want you to see is he really talks about creating the custom solutions.
What if I told you this only took 5 minutes to make? Don't believe it? I'm going to show you.
For context, my brother Ben has been nonverbal and quadriplegic for over a decade. His condition made it really hard to find readily available technology to give him more independence. So I built him a custom application using ChatGPT. It's been amazing.
What is your favorite time of day?
And since sharing his story, people keep asking how to get his software.
But the point of this video is to show that anyone can build something like this using AI. Let's think of a hypothetical situation.
There's people that I've met that can still use their eyes and move their mouth, but they're nonverbal and they have no way to communicate. I have seen that in the past working in a hospital.
We'll build an app that recognizes the camera. Maybe you can see your eyes closing and your mouth opening. And maybe it has like some phrases that it can scan and select to, kind of like Ben's software, but instead of using 2 buttons, those will be the.
All right, so I'm not going into.
What if I told you?
Let me get that stopped. So I didn't want to go into the whole thing, but I want you to see that with ChatGPT, there's a lot of things that they're now able to do. And it's not a matter of just using 3D printing, but we really want to think about global fabrication and not just, and the technology's out there. It's just now having the right person to put the tools together so that the right person can use it. And I think that's where these teams come in, and that's what we always want to be thinking about when we're working with our Tamales members. So any thoughts on that? Will, you look pensive.
In all honesty, I was thinking about how overwhelming the amount of files on your desktop was. I have never seen the fact that you can keep all that organized, if you will, is unbelievable. So yeah, in all honesty, I was thinking you're going to close back to it. But yeah, everything's good. Like I was just.
I will tell you, I always use 3 screens, so I don't look at that all the time. It's always covered.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So when I'm actually looking at the screens there, the other screens are blank. So I'm always using multiple screens. So it's that one's not what I normally see unless I don't have my other screen. So
I'm not used to that. So that's the look that you saw from me. So my apologies.
And it all makes sense to me. There's an organization system and I can pull it up really fast.
As long as it works for you.
All right. Any other thoughts other than my messy desktop? All right. The next one, I think we learned from other projects, and I thought this was really cool. So if you go here, and this will really help some of the school projects, but it's about a year ago, and it's Assistive Technology Science Projects. So it's a site, it's called Science Buddies. But what they've done is they've put together little activities that students can do. So this would be something that Tamiko, I think your groups could really kind of look into. And even Ray, you can start seeing how some of the sensors and everything works. But they've got like a little braille display, make a communication aid, design a puff switch. So this is more teaching people how, but you've got to start somewhere, like me. And these all make sense to me because it's something I can start from A and put together. A pill dispenser. But, you start somewhere getting these simple ideas. And I like that they've got these ideas here for us. You've got some links here. And I'll put this specific site in the chat so that you can look at that.
Thank you.
Let me see. Where did the chat go? Yeah. All right, so here's the link for the chat for that. And that's just learning from each other. So, but it shows you some of the technology out there, and how they're using some of the microcontrollers. They use Arduino, but we're using the microbits at our conference. And then they've got videos on the different technology. So I think especially for some of our groups working with high school students, these I think are really good sites to help motivate some of those CTE students so that they can then start making for our students with disabilities. And this is what we want to see more of. And we're still trying to work with state CTE coordinators to incentivize more of our CTE programs working with our AT programs. So I just thought that was real interesting, some of the emerging activities that we can do to help build an understanding of assistive technology. Oops, where did we go? There we are. Any questions on that? Any comments on that? Dr. Lee, that might be something you can show your students. You're muted. I think your students are probably more advanced than that.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. I muted there. But you're right. I need to look at it and also introduce to students who are interested in solving problems. Some of these could be, I don't think any of these could be looked at as simple. They all lead to something. If it solves the problem, then it's worth looking into. So that's how I look at it.
Very nice.
So introduce them to various different ways to solve problem is one of the key things, because you know, it's how we intrigue our students by giving them problems.
Yeah, and problem-based learning, I think, motivates the students. And then for me, I like the step-by-step. So I definitely don't think those are easy for me. But I think it'd be easier for your students.
I think you think of our students highly. I don't think that way. I think the students, some of them they can solve easily. Some of them they're not. And the easiest problem could be the hardest trying to solve, because they are constrained, and the constraint is the one that makes it challenging. So we're always trying to put some kind of constraint on it. For example, if you know, it's constraint like make it inexpensive, make it in a certain time frame, make it in such a way that it's going to be easy to deal with, that kind of thing. Those are constraints that makes it challenging. And we like to put constraint on things, because you can't in the world that we know of, nothing is available infinitely. You have to have some constraint, and that's what they're learning.
Oh, nice. Thank you. All right. This next slide is a new, I thought this was kind of an interesting, it's a wearable rehab glove. And I just always want to reiterate that fabrication is more than just 3D printing. It's really using all the different resources, but they're using kind of like air to blow up these gloves, and they're knitted gloves. So I thought this was an interesting concept, and they're using it to grip. So I'm going to go ahead and share this quick video for this, and I'll put the link in the chat for this one also. So this is, you know, we're just starting to get more and more people collaborating, and I think that's really cool. Let me put this in here for you all. So this, I want to show you the actual video that it has at the bottom, because it actually shows you how they fill this up and then they're using it to grip, which you can't do just with your 3D printed hand. So. right, that's above my pay grade, but I think it's absolutely fascinating how you would combine something like that. And on the next slide, I've got an article that talks about fabric sensors. So it's all kind of coming together. So it's bringing all these different ideas to fruition. So any comments about that? It's kind of fun. I think about some of my students with cerebral palsy and how that could be a game changer to allow them just a little more ability to hold something that they're not afraid is going to slip out of their hands. Any thoughts? Comments?
It looks like a banana hand.
It does look like bananas. That's what I thought it was at first, but then I had to go back and look at it. I thought it was interesting. And then that kind of brought me to this article, which is multi-touch skin. And this article I will include in our, because if they're not open source, I can't put them on the Padlet, but I'm sharing those through the link, which is at the end of the slide, into our box. So this article will go into box, but the abstract is available. And it's this, it's just sensors. And look, it's printed with inkjet or screen printing. So I want to share this with you because I thought this was fascinating technology. And they almost put it on like a Band-Aid. And so the article kind of talks about what they're using with this. There you see. Anyway, so it's this, it's like flexible sensors. And I think about some of the students that I've worked with, because I primarily worked with students who have very limited mobility, and maybe eye gaze is going to be too fatiguing, but maybe they do have some simple movements. And I'm just wondering if you could use something like that skin to activate a switch to activate a communication device. So those are things that I always think about. So much out there. So many ideas. Don't get overwhelmed. And then finally, there's an article, and this one I will put on. This is an open source. And I like this one because it really talks about going through the process, kind of what Dr. Lee was talking about. And it's just one more article on, and then I always like when they give pictures because I like pictures. So they share some of the results of their specific work on making mobility tools for individuals. And it talks about the design process. So this one I will be able to put on the actual Padlet. And it goes through their interfaces and different materials that they've considered. You can see they've wrapped some of this material over the cane. So I thought that was really cool. So it's using different technology to make functional tools. And I think it's really important to be able to look at the problem solving that other groups have gone through. And that's why I feel these articles are so good to add to our Padlet. So those are all the new things we have to share in regards to articles and products. It's fun. So now we turn it over to you. Touch, what have you created? What are you working on? How do we move forward? Ken's here.
He was lurking the whole time.
I saw your name on the list.
I just wanted to share that I participated in a couple other maker groups, and in one of them I learned that I don't know how relevant this is for anyone, but it was really relevant for me. That Maker World, which is associated with Ultimaker, I think, they added support to their Maker World website to provide a front end to OpenSCAD style programs. So you don't have to download the software and install it, or people don't have to. I just make my designer that I've written in OpenSCAD, I make it, I post it up on the MakerWorld website, and then people can use this interface, this web interface, to do all that customization without ever having to install and manage and upgrade the software. So I'm really
MakerWorld?
MakerWorld, yeah. I'm really excited. Yeah, so if you go there, and certain of these little 3D printable objects, whatever, when you go to that page, it will have a customize button if they've coded it either in OpenSCAD or in Fusion 360, and set up some parameters that you can change. But if anybody is looking for a way to provide a public interface for doing custom assistive technology design, which is what I've been about for many years now, this is really a way to make that process a lot easier for people so they can take advantage of what you've done.
So if I open this up, how would I be?
Well,
how would
click on 3D models
okay.
in the top bar.
See, I got impulsive and I didn't, but here.
Yeah,
okay,
so then let me see, is there a search here anywhere? Yeah, right
up here.
Try KeyGuard just for the fun of it. I haven't done any searching yet. KeyGuard Designer, there it is. The third one over.
So this is the same designer that we downloaded for you, but now you can do it on here.
Yeah, so you click on the customize button instead over there, and it'll bring up that user interface. Well, you have to create a login. I'm sorry.
But that's all right. I'll do that.
All free. It's all free, but it'll take you to an interface that's kind of like the customizer interface, and never anywhere did you have to download OpenSCAD and install it and manage it and download all my designer stuff and make sure
I just had a request for another 3D key guard, so that might be something I try, or actually let them try, because our goal is not for me to do all the work, but to build capacity so there's more people out there doing it.
Yeah. That should be everybody's goal, right?
Yeah.
Get out of the critical path.
Okay, perfect.
So anyway, I was really excited when I learned about this. It's opened up lots of opportunities.
And have you played around with it a little bit?
Yeah, enough to ensure that my latest version of the software does work there. And I had to make some changes. And oh, by the way, some of those changes required me to ask ChatGPT to write code for me.
Oh, see, and that was that first video where they're starting to use that ChatGPT, and it's pretty amazing what we can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is amazing. Any other thing that anybody else wants to share?
I guess I finally am doing another board design. I found a light foam and a strong vinyl that'll drop the weight down to 1 pound, because right now the plastic's about 3 pounds, but it'll still maintain that strong integrity. But I feel like 1 pound wouldn't hurt near as much falling on someone's foot as a 3-pounder would. So
I have a question will it still have the stability? So like, will you have some kind of non-skid on it, or?
Yes, man. It's the vinyl it's not going to be as non-skid. It's kind of more just exact same. I wish I could let y'all hear it and stuff like that, but of course, it doesn't really make a difference when you're not in the same room. But I'm going to get a little texture on it, so it's still going to be pretty much the exact same concept. same material. It's just going to be a thin.
Now, some people are new, so Will, why don't you talk to them about what your product is and so that they understand what the use is?
Yeah, so I guess I make a multi-purpose tray that had started out where you can put it around different shape and size dishes, but it is shifted over to a great therapy tool as well. So I believe that might be my email.
That's your email, not the Atento board site.
Yes, ma'am, but it's
pull it
just
up.
attentoboard.com. So it's a super simple concept. And yeah, to our new members, I would love to send y'all a board to get some feedback from it, because it's kind of a revolutionary product, if you will. And I actually spoke with Oklahoma State, and I spoke with the state of Florida this morning, and they are now going to collaborate with me. So sorry, my website isn't the best. I'm actually in the process of updating that now. So yeah, you can kind of see the simple idea of it right there. So
Sharon, if you've got a student that needs one, reach out to Will so that you could borrow one to see how it works.
Sounds great. Very creative. I like it.
And we have one in our lab, and then I have one. So if anyone ever wants to reach out, I've got one also.
Yeah, I actually had no idea what I was doing. And then I went out to the Abilities Expo in Dallas 2 years ago, and that's when I became friends with the Tamales group. So I am nowhere near y'all. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm looking at the coast right now. I will not be able to attend y'all's conference as much as I would love to find a great reason to go to Austin. I will not be able to make it.
But we'll maybe the next year. Who knows?
Hey, I would love it. I hear that city's changing daily. So who knows if y'all recognize it next year.
Right.
Can I have input for Will's board, if I may? Can you hear me?
Did you get one already?
Yeah, I do. And I've been meaning to say something, provide him with some input on that, because he did ask, but I never had a chance. And so if I may just take a few minutes. And I find that board is pretty useful, Will, number one. Number two, my uses began with something a little different than what you intended to. I actually use it to, when we were working on drones, and we have various different components, and we're testing various different components before we put them together to make sure they work before you kind of integrate it. And these are very useful because you can put on a board and you kind of lock them in, and then you can measure using various different instruments to measure them. And so it's kind of having 5 different hands type, and that's how I found it was useful. Now that was accidental use, because I wasn't thinking I was not using it as an AT assisted technology. I was using it for my hand because I'm lacking I'm lacking the reach because I don't have enough hands. So that turned out to be a very useful one. Another thing that I found, and this may be something that you may, find it. It's great when you attach the peg into it, it sticks very well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a difficult thing for somebody who has some disability to stick it in, because it's kind of hard to put it in, and also hard to pull it out.
Which could be a good thing, because you don't want it to fall out if it's holding something.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and you can always sand them down to loosen them if you need it a little looser.
Yeah, I was just about to say a little, sandpaper, grit paper, it'll kind of loosen it up, if you will, or shrink it.
Right. But if you sand it and it's loosened, it'd be difficult to get it back to be sticky again.
Right. That's why you never want to, it's easier to take it off if you need to adapt it than to put it on.
Correct. So this is one of the things that perhaps more pegs is useful here, or maybe a way to generate more pegs, and also more way to put it in rather than just one way to push it down. you know.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
that may be one of the things I was trying to figure out, because I had some student trying to it, and they found they have a little bit of a hard time, but eventually they get it. However, the one that with disability will have a hard time, and they couldn't get it very well, easily. So that's something that we had to adjust. But
Well, I
overall,
really appreciate the feedback and stuff like that. Yeah. Because, like I said, I just want to keep it simple and give it as a board. But the fact that you're using the whole drone parts, I never would have thought that stuff. So keep it simple. That's why I kind of say, hey, this is what it does. And yeah, here we are. So thank you so much for that feedback. I appreciate that.
no problem. I had to find something to use to test my drone parts. That's the reason why. And then your board happened to be right there. Okay.
Hey, well, I'm glad to be part of the drone process. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Just want to let you know. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for that. And so there are some of the stuff that as I find more uses, I'll let you know. Okay.
Hey,
That's
the
the
more
joy of
random, the better.
collaboration.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay.
The joy of collaboration.
Yeah,
Oops,
thank
I
you
didn't
for-
change this one. Anyways, I didn't change this one, the date, but the next one is actually October. The next meeting's actually October 14th. And we're trying to get the Waco Middle School community. They did a community project where she had her students interview individuals from a nursing home, and they created some projects, and she's going to do a little bit of a show and tell on that. So we're real excited for that. So that's what we're going to have next month, is a maker group that actually created for an aging population. Don't forget the Padlet. So if you have a phone and you didn't get those links, you can screenshot this for the Padlet. The Padlet is going to have all of those resources. I always say screenshot it and then send it to your email so that you can look at it later. And then on the next slide, it's going to be the Padlet with the box articles. And those, Sharon, are articles you will want to send to your CTE program, because it talks about the benefits of CTE programs. Some of the articles I have are really the benefits of CTE programs working with individuals with disabilities, and the positive outcomes and the unintended consequences of the relationships that are built. So it's some really good. One was a longitudinal project they did with individuals that were blind, and they talked about the outcomes were good in regards to learning and developing the assistive tech. But the unintended outcome, which nobody had really thought about, was the relationships between the individuals, the makers, and the individuals with disabilities. So that was really cool. And then the next one is the box links. And this one has this very specific articles that can't be shared online. But we do want you to have access for discussion purposes and just building awareness. And I can click this link, and I took it away, but I can put the link also in the chat. So let me go back here. There we go. Here we are. And then there's my final Mustang, my own personal project. So it doesn't look like that, but it will one day.
Did you actually get to near finish yet?
Oh my gosh, no. I'm really at the beginning stages. It's all primered and has to have a new rag top put on it. So no, we're just at the beginning stages. I guess I could start taking pictures and sending stages.
Yeah, I think you document it as you go along. It'd be very interesting to see how you solve some of these problems, because I think
the whole thing's a big problem. But the cool thing is I've got a really good friend in Delaware, and this is what he loves to do. So he's going to do most of the actual work for me, and then I just get to drive it at the end.
If any Mustang, this is the one. I like this one a lot. This is the one that one of the reasons I like the most is because you remember Mary Tyler Moore shows?
Oh yeah.
She used to drive.
I don't think some of the younger ones, but I do.
Oh.
And she drove one? now I
She
have to
took,
go back and
well,
look.
she got a white one and also convertible. And she that was her independence, I guess, from moving away from one show to the next.
Anyway, well, that's all we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for everything. And we look forward to next month. Thanks, Nico and Anna. And we'll see some of you at the conference and not will.
Thank you.
And then,
Thank you guys so much.
and we'll continue to build on.
Okay.